Alright, so deals, and today I've got a lot of them because the massive holiday PSN sale, well, just randomly got an extension. Around 2,000 more games were added to the lineup, and it is now just truly epic. I thought they were going to be wrapping this thing up, but it seems not. So today, got 15 more great picks for you all, covering everything really from hidden gems to AAA. I'm going to be covering the US, Canada, UK, EU, and Australia. Really confident with this one. There's going to be a few you haven't heard of before. Plus then later in the video I'll be announcing 5 winners for Star Trek Legends codes, thanks to everyone who entered that. Plus do us a favour, subscribe if you do enjoy the video, that means a ton to us, it helps us bring even more content just like this your way. And now, let's get into it. Alright, just quickly before we jump into the first game, question for you all. What is your top recommendation from this sale? If you could pick just one game for everyone to try, drop it in the comments below, we'd love to hear your suggestions. Now onto the first pick. Stellar Blade is back on sale for the second time ever, once again with 29% off, and I really enjoyed this one. Now there was some chatter at launch about these skimpy outfits, and look, I do get it, but for me, as long as the gameplay is solid, that's what I'm here for. And Stellar Blade delivers that in spades. They've even just dropped a Nier Automata DLC, which I've added to the library. Now, the game itself is an intense action-packed adventure starring Eve, who returns to a devastated Earth to fight against an enemy, a force bent on eradicating humanity. Combat's really good fun, expect combos, massive boss encounters, plenty of upgrades as well to experiment with. Plus the ruined Earth environment, really impressive. It's kind of both haunting and beautiful, and it's really using that PS5 power extremely well. Throw in then a decent little story with mature themes and surprisingly actually a few emotional moments, and yeah, this one's well worth it. I actually have a video on it too, I'll pin that down below. Kill Knight is back at 33% off, matching its lowest price, and this is easily one of my favourite indie games of 2024. Now, fair warning, brutally difficult, but it's a twin-stick shooter with bullet hell elements, and it demands precision and mastery of its mechanics. You'll be juggling tons of abilities, think invincibility frame dashes, weapon swaps, parries, melee attacks, which actually double as your only way to reload. It's a lot to take in, but once you do, immensely rewarding. Plus the retro neon-soaked aesthetic, just incredible. Now the story behind all of this, incredibly simple. You're a betrayed knight cast into the abyss and reborn as Kill Knight with a singular mission, kill the last angel. The gameplay is where it's all at though, the action, the precision, the 5 handcrafted arenas, the relentless enemies, the weaknesses to exploit, the wrath blast that can absolutely blow these enemies away. It demands focus, skill, but it is incredible. Plus on top of this, each victory, you'll unlock new weapons and gear so you can actually tweak your playstyle and then climb the online leaderboards. Midnight Fight Express is 40% off, matching its lowest price. It's been over 6 months since we've seen a deal on this one, and in my opinion, it's an underappreciated gem. It's an isometric brawler that blends action, a great sense of humor. For example, there's a pillow fight level at a game studio, for example, and just these stunning minimalistic visuals. Now you play as Babyface, a former criminal pulled back into the chaos by a mysterious AI drone. Together, you'll battle your way across a city overrun by crime, facing waves of enemies and crime bosses in a desperate bid to stop a citywide takeover before sunrise. Combat is great fun, it's incredibly satisfying, it's inspired by martial arts, so yeah, basically it's packed with combos, counters, environmental takedowns, plus tons of weapons. You can wield everything from melee weapons to plungers to guns to explosives, and yeah, use that environment to your advantage. All of this then plays out across 41 levels, and you can top it off with a quality soundtrack as well. Master Detective Archives Raincoat Plus is back on sale and matching its lowest price at 50% off, and it's only the second time we've ever seen it discounted. It's a must-play in my opinion for fans of dark, kind of quirky detective tales. Plus this Plus Edition enhances the already great experience with 4K support, smoother performance, gallery mode for the cinematics, the music, and then 5 new sub-stories starring the eccentric Master Detectives. I went back a second time, I played it on Switch originally. Whether those upgrades are worth it to you, that's a decision only you can basically make. But the story here, for anyone that's not played it, follows Yuma, an amnesiac detective in training, and his ghostly partner, Shinigami, as they investigate mysteries in Kanai Ward, a rain-soaked city under the thumb of this corrupt mega-corporation. You'll be joined by a team of master detectives, each with their own unique abilities, and you expect to be gathering evidence, interrogating suspects, and piecing together crimes that are both bizarre and unsettling. Gameplay then alternates between exploring the real world for clues and solving cases inside the surreal mystery labyrinth where puzzles and enemies, they come to life. So yeah, really good stuff, and on top of all of this then, between cases, there's going to be hidden memories to discover, side quests to enjoy, and yeah, plenty of opportunities to connect with the Well, game's more than an unusual cast. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is 20% off, matching its lowest price, and while I thought we might see a deeper discount, because it's kind of about time honestly, this is still a solid offer for the PS5's definitive version. Now whether you loved or disliked the narrative direction, there's no denying the quality of the gameplay. The story then, it picks up 5 years after the events of the first game, with Ellie and Joel living in a relatively peaceful location. It's Jackson, Wyoming, but a violent incident disrupts their life, sending Ellie on a relentless journey. The narrative definitely takes bold risks, weaving themes of grief, hatred and redemption into what is a deeply personal tale, and while it's been polarizing for some, I think there's no question this story leaves a lasting impression. Now, gameplay-wise, it builds on the foundations of the original with stealth mechanics, combat and exploration, and these encounters in this sequel are just often brutal, and resource management plays a really big element here too. Also then, new to this remaster is No Return, a roguelike survival mode where you face randomized encounters, boss battles, and you can play as various unlockable characters, each with unique skills. The PS5 enhancements then take everything to the next level. Expect 4K resolution in fidelity mode. Got to be very specific about that. Only fidelity mode. Faster loading times, and then full DualSense integration. That's adding haptic feedback and adaptive trigger functionality. Look, I'm a fan. Feel free to complain about it in the comments below, but I think it's a gem. I think it is well worth experiencing. Sonic Shadow Generations is 25% off, matching its lowest price, and for a relatively new release, it's great to see it on sale again. This game essentially packs two experiences into one, blending kind of nostalgia with fresh gameplay, and I think it's great for fans of both Sonic and Shadow. Now the story, it's split between two campaigns. Shadow takes center stage in a brand new narrative where his nemesis, Black Doom, returns with a plan to conquer the world. And yeah, Shadow's basically confronting his past, gaining new powers, and saving the future in an adventure that is packed with, I guess, a fair few dark twists for these characters. Meanwhile then, Sonic's portion is a remastered version of Sonic Generations, a fantastic game where modern and classic Sonic team up to stop Dr. Eggman and the mysterious Time Eater, restoring what is a fractured timeline. Now, gameplay-wise, Shadow's campaign mixes 3D platforming with new abilities like Doom powers. They let you kind of surf water, fly over obstacles, use Chaos Control to stop time, and you'll also explore a new hub world inspired by Sonic Frontiers, uncovering secrets and gaining powers as you do progress. On Sonic's side then, you'll dash through reimagined 2D and 3D stages, from his greatest hits basically, but now with enhanced visuals, improved cinematics, bonus collectibles, and a pinball minigame. The Thing Remastered is 20% off in its first ever sale, and if you missed my review, you can find that link below. To summarise, yes, it shows its age, no question, and the latter stages lean more into action than horror, but I still absolutely adore this game, though I will admit nostalgia plays a big role in that. I played it back in the day. Now this, it's set as a direct sequel to John Carpenter's iconic 1982 film, and the game puts you in the boots of Captain J.F. Blake, leading a US Special Forces team sent to investigate the events at Outpost 31. Now, as you explore the frozen wastelands of Antarctica, you'll encounter a shape-shifting alien life form that can assume the appearance of anyone it kills, including your squad. Now, gameplay blends survival horror with squad-based mechanics, and the trust fear system back in the day, that was a standout feature. Also, how you manage your team's psychological state through your actions and decisions. It determines whether they'll cooperate or turn on you. You'll also be then using a variety of weapons from flamethrowers to explosives to of course fend off this nemesis. And the squad system, look again, it's 2025, so it's far from perfect. So do watch my review first. However, for fans, I think this remaster by Night Dive Studios does a fantastic job modernising the visuals with updated lighting, textures and models. Really kind of brings this world to life again, especially in 4K at up to 120 frames per second. We also do get, of course, some quality of life improvements which are appreciated, and trophies, they've been added to round out the package. Persona 5 Royal is 60% off, and calling it one of the best turn-based RPGs ever made feels entirely justified. It is incredible. Fantastic story, stylish visuals, spot-on gameplay, and a banging soundtrack, so yeah, a near-perfect package. Now, what makes this the Royal Edition? Well, it's the definitive version of the game, packed with over 40 items of previously released DLC, enhanced visuals, and expanded content. So basically expect new characters, story arcs, and locations. Now, the core story, it follows a high school student forced to transfer to a new school in Tokyo after what was a false accusation. While trying to navigate this new life, he discovers he has the ability to enter an alternate reality known as the Metaverse. There he becomes the leader of the Phantom Thieves, a group committed to saving others by stealing their distorted desires and reforming corrupt hearts. With themes of rebellion, justice, and self-discovery, this story, incredible stuff. Adult too, as a warning, I will put that out there, this one's definitely not for kids, but the gameplay then is a blend of turn-based combat and life simulation. So by day, you'll attend school, form relationships, participate in activities to enhance your stats. By night, you'll delve into dungeons using your personas. These are manifestations of your inner psyche, and they'll basically be battling it out with enemies. The Royal Edition then even adds an entirely new semester, expanded endings, and quality of life improvements. Basically, just buy it. I only featured Pacific Drive a few weeks back, but it's already back on sale and now with a new low price 50% off. Now, I absolutely loved this game, and if you want my full thoughts, you can find my review link below. Now, admittedly, there's a steep learning curve at first. Figuring out how to prepare your car while dodging anomalies in a wasteland isn't easy, but once it clicks, it transforms into something truly special. Now, the tension of scrambling to escape before disaster strikes as well unmatched, making it this really unique experience for someone seeking just something a little bit different, I guess. Now, at its core, Pacific Drive is basically a first-person driving survival game where your car is both your lifeline and your only companion. It's kind of this surreal version of the Pacific Northwest, and you'll be venturing into the Olympic exclusion zone. You're scavenging resources, upgrading your car, battling through this crazy environment, and yeah, the big goal really is to escape. You kind of got sucked into this world almost. Each trip, though, is unpredictable, forcing you to adapt and strategize while uncovering the secrets of this world. And yeah, overall, I'd say basically quite a tough game, honestly. A lot of systems, but definitely worth the investment. Slitterhead is my pick of the week, not a recommendation. Maybe you want to join me for the ride, however. It's 30% off, a new low price, and since it only released recently, this felt like the perfect time to dive in. Now, the reviews have been all over the place, so I'm curious to see kind of where I land personally on this one, but it comes from the creator of Silent Hill, so that's really enough for me to take the risk. Now, the game, it takes place in the densely packed streets of Kowloon, a mysterious neon-lit city. You play as Hyoki, an entity with no memory or physical form, driven by a single goal, that is to eliminate the monstrous Slitterheads that are lurking in this city. They're disguising themselves basically as humans, so gameplay involves exploring the urban landscape, forging alliances with rarities, these are humans with unique abilities, and infiltrating dangerous organizations. They're promising intense battles with a focus on harnessing the power of blood to take down these foes. Don't really quite know what that means. I've kept away from reviews transparently, just like the overall scores. But yeah, I think it sounds about as weird as they come, so basically just take my cash. Alone in the Dark Digital Deluxe Edition has just received a permanent price drop, and now it sits at 25% off. While it doesn't sound like a massive discount, this is the lowest price ever. Interestingly, the Deluxe Edition is currently cheaper than the base game, even though both are on sale, so do be aware of that. The extra content in here includes cosmetics, a filter pack, director commentary, a soundtrack, and a digital art book, and while I wouldn't necessarily normally recommend it when it's cheaper than the base game, absolutely. Now, regarding the game, it's a remake, and the story takes you to the 1920s Deep South, where Emily Hartwood's uncle has gone missing. Now, alongside private investigator Edward Carnby, she travels to the Manor, a home that harbours dark secrets. The game lets you experience a tale through the perspective of either Emily or Edward, uncovering the truth behind the Manor's nightmarish residents, otherworldly realms, and rising evil. It's a psychological horror adventure packed with Southern Gothic atmosphere, themes of reality, insanity, and trust, and the gameplay basically combines that kind of old school horror, exploration, puzzle solving, combat, and yeah, it's a world filled with, of course, limited resources and a ton of monsters. It's not perfect, honestly. Some of the combat, for example, are janky, some of the transitions visually, janky too, but overall I had fun with it, and I think they did a really good job here of keeping the soul of the original intact. If you want to see my full review, it's linked in the pinned comment below. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is 35% off, matching its lowest price, and this is well worth it. It's the base game as well as the Phantom Liberty DLC. Now, this has actually been my Christmas game. I got stuck back in, and honestly, I've just been adoring it again. From the base game to the DLC, I think it's spot on for the most part. And sure, there's still a few lingering issues, but CD Projekt Red, they've turned this into something truly special. Now, you play as Fee, a mercenary navigating this kind of sprawling, neon-soaked city. Oh, it's actually called Night City as well, I should put that out there. But you're armed with cybernetic upgrades, and the story is fantastic. Tons of twists, complex characters, meaningful choices, and the gameplay blends fast-paced combat, stealth, hacking, and driving. You can kind of play this however you want to play it. If you want to go in all guns blazing, feel free. If you want to be stealth, do that too. The Visuals then, I think they look incredible now, and with the DLC adding even more characters and polish, it just feels like finally we've got that complete experience. I will have a video up on the channel soon kind of breaking down if I think it's still worth it in 2025 once I've kind of wrapped up the DLC again, but well, spoiler alert here, absolutely. Alright, so I've seen a lot of talk online then over Christmas about folks revisiting Quantic Dreams games, and it got me thinking about this bundle. It includes Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain, and these are two incredible games, and with 60% off, matching their lowest price, it is an excellent deal for anyone who just hasn't experienced them yet. Now, Beyond Two Souls tells the story of Jodie Holmes, a young woman tethered to a mysterious entity named Aiden. As you follow her life from childhood to adulthood, the game dives deep into themes of identity, connection, and destiny. The gameplay alternates then between emotional storytelling and action-packed sequences, with players using both Jodie's physical abilities and Aiden's supernatural powers to interact with the world and solve problems. Basically, like any game in this kind of genre, your choices here are shaping that narrative, and it's going to lead you to multiple endings. Meanwhile, Heavy Rain is a thriller that puts you in control of 4 characters, each with a personal connection to the Origami Killer. It's an emotional journey through moral dilemmas, suspenseful investigations, and tense action. Gameplay again focuses on kind of decision making, more probably quick time events than this one, and exploration, where every choice carries weight. Again, it's going to influence the fate of the characters and the outcome of that story. Both games, in my opinion, they kind of created a genre, but they're also, for me, modern classics. They excel at blending cinematic storytelling with interactive gameplay, and the way they pull you into the world, it's incredible. If you haven't experienced these yet, this bundle is a fantastic way to dive in. Also, it's worth mentioning Detroit Become Human from the same studio. It's another masterpiece, and while it's not on sale right now, it just ended sadly, maybe add it to the wish list because it's absolutely worth playing if you're kind of exploring Quantic Dreams' catalogue. Persona 3 Reloaded Digital Premium Edition is 40% off, and while we actually saw it about $10 cheaper last month, it's still an easy recommendation at this price. This edition includes the game's incredible expansion as well, The Answer, which adds over 30 hours of gameplay. It's why I'm going for the expensive one here. If you're just after the base game, that's on sale too. I also reviewed this one, so do check the pinned comment for the video and my full thoughts. But Persona 3 Reload is a stunning rebuild of a genre-defining classic, and you play as a transfer student who discovers the Dark Hour, and this is basically a hidden time between one day and the next, and you basically in this world get the powers of the persona to battle shadows. You need to uncover the truth behind what this Dark Hour is and forge bonds with the cast that you will meet on the journey. The story is just incredible, and the way they've presented it with the new scenes, the style, the visuals, just incredible. Also the voiceovers as well. The gameplay has basically just been rebuilt for the modern era, combining dungeon crawling, tactical combat, and life simulation. Expect though to be exploring the tower, commanding your team against otherworldly enemies, and carefully planning your daily activities to strengthen relationships and improve your skills. The game looks stunning and sounds stunning as well. Now this digital premium edition then also includes a digital art book, soundtrack with newly arranged and original tracks, DLC packs for costumes, personas, and background music from Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5 Royal, and once again, the expansion, The Answer, which adds a brand new story where you are tackling new challenges and uncovering mysteries in the abyss of time. And that story alone, again, over 30 hours of additional gameplay. Alright, now quickly, the winners of Star Trek Legends. We had 5 PlayStation codes to give away to you all. The names are on the screen right now. We do appreciate the support. Thank you to everyone who took part, and winners, email me for the code, and well, now back to the deals. The Outlast Trials then is our final game, 50% off, matching its lowest price. It's been a bit of an addiction for me, this one. I'm well over like probably 75 hours at this point, far more than I ever expected. But what is it? Well, think Outlast meets co-op survival horror, and escaping with your sanity is kind of the battle here. Story, it's set in the Cold War era. You're a prisoner of the Murkoff Corporation, and you're being subjected to these experiments designed to fix humanity, which of course means down there, just horrifying. But yet, these twisted trials are the therapy sessions, and you're forced to navigate these scenarios with deadly threats and challenges. The gameplay then, it's all about survival basically, so you can go solo, team up with friends, join randoms, but yeah, expect the objectives here to change. They're constantly adding new missions, the stealth mechanics, the enemies can be relentless, and yeah, each trial brings unique challenges too, from sneaking through corridors to working together to operate different systems. If you also then need a break from the terror, I love the lobby system. It's this really kind of bizarre yet satisfying touch. You can decorate your room, flex your creativity there, even play games like chess and arm wrestling against other players. And weirdly enough, I've spent hours at that chessboard. Really enjoy it for some reason. Really good fun to kind of take a little break, 15-20 minutes, and just kind of plonk myself on the seats. This game though, finally, I will say it is of course online only. It's all about multiplayer, so do know that going in. But yeah, well worth the time. And that's the video down. What will you be adding to the library this week? Let us know in the comments below. With that, if you did enjoy the video, once again, do us a favor, subscribe. That helps the channel a huge amount. Helps us to bring you more content just like this. And yeah, see you all in the next one. Cheers all.